Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and in this video, my truck just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as we look further and further down this line. Now, you can't see most of the trucks in that line just yet, but that's okay because you will see them momentarily. Now, if you were curious as to any of the specifics of the truck that I'm using right now, the link to check it out will be in the description box down below, but do be aware that it is a premium access PC-only mod. Now, this is where we are starting. This is the standard crew cab variant of this W200, and it's got a little bit of lift, it's got some power behind it, and just to clarify for y'all, all of these trucks have the maximum power engine and the maximum speed transmission to keep things in terms of performance as fair as we can across the board, but obviously varying factors like tire height and other things will lead to different outcomes on the mega ramp. So let's fire up our first truck and see how it does and kind of set up a little bit of a baseline for ourselves on the mega ramp. Now, why am I... Whoa, my game has no sound. Well, apparently all I had to do was recover to the garage and then leave the garage again, and then the sound came back. I don't think I've ever had that happen before, even in all of the years that I've been playing this game. So SnowRunner apparently still has some odd tricks up its sleeve. Well, maybe it's happened once before, maybe once or twice, but it's definitely not common. Now, this first one, I expect it will do a decent result on the mega ramp, but I don't know how gnarly it's actually going to be. Although, that was longer than I expected it to sustain that drift for. I'm not gonna lie, that was a really, really well-sustained slide out of it. So, as we go up the mega ramp for the first time, I'm really glad that I have this roll cage, because I'll probably be using it. Alright, as y'all know, if you've watched my prior mega ramp videos, we're gonna be using the far left lane, and 3, 2, 1, ease it on over the edge, and full beans, come on! We're gonna be running these trucks in gear because if we put them in neutral, they would probably actually slow down considering the fact that we don't have a lot of sustained downhill, and this result is gonna be pretty good. Wherever it bounces and stops is where it will stay, and you know what? We landed on our wheels, and that's not a bad result. For our very first one, that's not a bad result whatsoever. Now, next up, we are jumping into the 6-door variant. Now, this one is about the same height. It's running a different wheel and tire package, but I believe the wheels and tires are about the same height as well, as the ones on the 4-door. This one's just longer. And so I don't know how the length is going to play into its actual result on the jump. The only thing that I could imagine is that maybe the fact that it'll take longer for the entire vehicle to leave the ramp may have some impact on it, but I don't know if that's going to make it go a shorter distance or a longer distance. But we're going to find out together as we absolutely yeet our way up this ramp. And this thing is quite potent when it comes to speed. It's definitely a potent truck for sure. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm really glad that we didn't send it over the back edge of the ramp. That would have been a bit tragic. All right. 3, 2, 1. Easy and full beans. Come on. We're already in 6th, so this thing is already moving pretty good. Is it going to give me 7th? I don't know. Did it give me 7th? It did. Okay. And that is actually going to go a little further and land on the hood of the other W200, the 4-door one. It's going to land on the hood of it, and technically, if we're measuring from the front of the truck, it went a little bit further. So, interesting result there, actually, from the added length. Now, here's where things get a touch interesting. Not that they weren't interesting already, but here's where they get a little bit more interesting, I should say. Now, let me make sure I'm actually selecting the right one. Okay, the next one is the W200 SEMA truck. Now, this one is a little bit taller still and has slightly taller tires than the last one, but as you can see, it is a little bit shorter because it is a 4-door, not a 6-door. So I'll be curious to see if the little bit of added tire height is going to give this thing a better distance result, or if it's going to be, if it's going to come up a little bit short because the actual wheelbase is shorter. Because now we know that a little bit of extra wheelbase adds to a better jump distance. So let me not absolutely clobber a tree. I'll go over one that I know I can crush. All right, and get everything repaired. as we send this thing up the ramp. This thing, I think, should do pretty well. As we go up in suspension heights and, more importantly, tire heights, we should see the distance increase, mainly due to the tire height, because obviously if you're dealing with a taller tire, you're going to have more rolling speed as that tire actually picks up speed going down the hill. So let's go. Oh, I didn't do a countdown. I forgot to. Sorry. I think we're in 7th now. Full send. Oh, that's actually going to come up super short. A little bit of a bounce. And, well, I did say we were going to go off of where they landed. So technically, the SEMA edition is just barely leading now. And I mean just barely leading now. So next up, we move to the lifted variant. So now we're getting into some higher suspension heights and some properly big tire sizes. So this one should definitely pick up the rolling speed and should give us another pretty gnarly result. Although if it lands in like the same spot as the other one, I'm gonna feel mildly to moderately cheated on that result. I'm not gonna lie, that's gonna be a little bit close. So no, it feels like it's a little bit faster, though, when we're driving it on flat ground. So I'm crossing my fingers for a pretty well-improved result, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath that it does better, but at the same time, I'm hoping that it does better. So easing it up the ramp now. Well, I say easing it as I'm flooring it in high range. Now, are you going to... Oh, okay. That actually did almost jump all the way to the edge. All right, what do we think? 3, 2, 1, easy. I'm gonna nervously estimate that it goes a little bit farther than the rest, but I don't know if I'm willing to fully say that it will. I think it's going to. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, this one definitely did. That bounce was wild. It definitely pulled way ahead, but now... the next one is a little bit crazier because it's this. This is the mud truck variant. And as you can see, it took the doors off because I was like, I mean, it's a mud truck. We're going to go absolutely nuts with this thing. And let's see if we can raise the... oh, yeah, we can definitely raise the suspension up. Now, look how aggressive the rear steer on this one is. Let me just attempt to do a donut real quick and see what happens. Oh, my God. That turning radius is insane. What? Okay. Well, I could definitely say that that's not what I expected, but I am very okay with it. The only issue with this is going to actually be, well, keeping it dead ahead, because with rear steer that active and with that much rear angle, if you even breathe on the steering while you're going fast, it's going to probably flip over or go into some kind of corkscrew. It's going to have a do a barrel roll moment, especially if it happens going down the ramp. Well, it's pretty controllable, especially for the rear steer being that active. Yeah, it's pretty controllable. It's more controllable than I thought it would be. Oh, this thing feels faster, especially going up the hill and high. Yeah, this thing feels a lot faster. Up and over the crest. I slowed down quite a bit, but I did that kind of more for self-preservation than anything else. Creeping up to the edge. 3, 2, 1. Easy. And what do we think? There's 6th. That sounded like a shift into 7th. Oh, that's a good launch. Come on. Nosed in. And decent result, but did not manage to catch up with that insane bounce of the lifted one. That lifted one, when it bounced and it stayed level, I was like, oh yeah, we're absolutely going for a good result here. But this next one, the 6-door Mega, I think it's going to be... if this doesn't win, I'm going to be very surprised. Now, there is another truck in this lineup, and that is the rear steer version of this. but I didn't want to run that one because literally the only difference between this one and that one is the fact that it's literally this truck, but with rear steer, and that's not really going to affect the performance going down the ramp anyway, so I figured it would be a little bit redundant to run that one, and that's why we're only running this variant. So bear with me on that, because I know there's probably going to be somebody that's going to say, there's one more that you didn't run, and I'm like, well, it's just this exact same thing with rear steer, so I'm not worried about that one. I love how we didn't get any damage at all on the way here. Literally none. Come on. Oh. Oh my god. Can it not go into high going up this hill? It's trying, but it's running out of steam. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, I guess these tires just have that much resistance because they're so tall. All right, what do we think? I'm going to be really shocked if this doesn't win. 3, 2, 1, ease it over the edge. Put it into high. Oh, actually, yeah, there we go. 6th. Give me 7th. Oh, that was a good launch. Oh, yeah, it's going for it. It's going for it. It's nosing in, but it's going for it. Ooh. You know, we almost had a successfully executed double front flip. Not quite, but we almost did. And that's going to put the 6-door Mega W200 way in the lead. So technically, the podium would have been 6-door Mega, and then crew cab lifted, and then crew cab mud truck. And all the others were very, very close. But with that being said and done, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video here at the Mega Ramp on SnowRunner. And if you did, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And if you are new around here, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And I'll see y'all next time.